Greetings and welcome back to my Let's Play series for RuneScape Dragonwilds. If you caught up with the last episode, you would have seen our first vault clearing. So if you haven't had a chance to watch that one, feel free to go and grab it from the playlist. This episode, though, we are going to be poking our nose into the Whispering Swamp. While we will do a little bit while we're there, it's mostly to facilitate getting us to the far side of the swamp. Now you might be wondering, Rob, what the hell are you up to? You said you weren't going to do anything with the swamp until you're finished with this area. Yeah, that is true. But I decided I was going to put another one of these teleport markers down, and one of the better places to put it is just on the far edge of the swamp. That way it comes in handy later when we start exploring beyond that swamp. So, yeah, that's the plan. Let's see how we get on with that plan. And almost on cue, the dragon shows up. Yeah, we really don't want to be dealing with this while we're trying to get across the swamp. So it is time for us to beat a very hasty retreat to get clear of these, please don't stand in the poison, markers on the ground. Yeah, they kind of hurt. The poison ticks away, and look, for the moment we're going alright with it, but honestly you really don't want to be standing in it for any amount of time. So we've done our usual trick, which is to retreat just beyond the edge of the attacked area, and we're just going to give it a hot minute here for the dragon to get bored and move on to, some other plaything, assuming it has another plaything. Alright, I guess you could say this is take 2 of entering the Whispering Swamp. Now, there are the usual denizens, but they are a bit harder. So there's the usual, warrior types, there's the usual archer types, there's the usual rodents of unusual size. However, there is things to be aware of in terms of the differences. Mostly it's just that they hit harder, but something to be aware of with the rats is they will poison you. And that is something that, well, might not affect you if all you're doing is attacking a rat, but it can, like if they're part of a bigger combat, it all adds up to potentially shortening your lifespan. So just little FYI on that one. Now, one of the more annoying aspects of the swamp is this wall thing, this bridge / wall that's here. It has a few of these goblins around it and on it, and every time you go to come through here, you will end up needing to clear these guys off because they do respawn. This is probably one of the main reasons for not popping your swamp teleport location on, you know, so close to where we entered. It's better to put it on the opposite side because as you advance through the map, you're not going to want to waste your time and arrows having to clear this thing every time you want to come through the swamp. Not to mention that the swamp is just a royal pain to navigate anyway, just with all the water, the rats, and everything else that's going on. Now, one of the key, at least in the short term, key resources we're going to want in the swamp is clay. Now, long term, we're not going to use a lot of it, but as you can see there, it has unlocked a couple of benches and things related to processing the clay into pots and things of that nature. So we definitely need clay, but not in the same sort of volumes that we're going to need, you know, metals or wood, for example. So when you first come to the swamp, you're probably going to want to gather every bit of clay you can find, but eventually you'll taper that off and you won't really need it very much beyond those initial needs and having a little bit on hand. Now, these herbs, there's two kinds. They do look very similar. One is a little bit darker looking than the other. Obviously, the mushrooms are handy, but it's the darker herb that's rarer, but also the one that you're going to need more of long term. So I'll go, like, once I get into properly exploring the swamp, I'll go through these recipes and what they're for and, you know, blah, blah, blah. But because I'm having to, you know, get from one side of the swamp to the other, I'm just covering the basics while we work out how to get from point A to point B. Now, there are some very dangerous things in the swamp. If you stick to the route that I'm taking, you shouldn't have too many issues with them. But if you do go to either end, I can't remember which end it is, but one of the ends of the swamp, there is something very big and horrible, and we are most definitely not ready to face it yet. When it comes time, don't worry, I'll bring you guys up to speed and let you know what it's all about. But for the moment, we are just hoping to do the Frodo and Sam and Smeagol approach of trying to get through the swamp without attracting too much attention. Alright, well, playing into what I said about the chests You can see here we're in a new area, but the chest, you know, other than that crafting recipe, which is really just decorative anyway, everything else in there is pretty much what we find in any other chest in any other area. So, yes, the resources are basic and fairly handy for the most part. If you miss a chest here or there, there's nothing hugely critical about them. I mean, you still need to loot them to try and see if you can get these extra recipes, but beyond that, they're not much use. Anyway, we are making our way towards where we're intending to drop the teleport location. As you can see, yep, the whole jumping and not being able to get out of the water easily is a pain in the insert, you know, appropriate word here. So this is one of the reasons why I really hate trying to cross the swamp. There's ways of avoiding this stuff if all you're doing is gathering resources, but whenever I'm trying to get from one side of the swamp to the other, it's just yeah, anyway. We're back to our murdering of rats exercise, and then we will see what else we can find over here. Yeah, typically a rat likes to show up right when you're ready to do important things. Another thing that shows up, particularly when it's just gone nighttime, is some dudes that are keen on hunting you. I did catch a little bit of a break here. This could have potentially been a lot worse because we're on the edge of a higher level area, which is up that ramp. And if we got hunted by the dudes that come from there, I think my natural and appropriate response to that would have just been to die. Yeah, those guys, the gear I'm in now, you really don't deal with those guys very well, particularly if you got 3 of them and they're intent on murdering you. But luckily, we just got some dudes that we were able to deal with, so no harm, no foul. We just tidied up the rest of that chest so it's clear, so it's free to respawn new contents later. We've got a bit of a journal page there. There's a bit of a sort of story arc going on in the background to do with the ghosts and the the storyline that you need to explore as you go. If you want to give that a read, feel free to rewind and just pause the video to read it. I sort of read all this more or less when I played through with Itchy. So anyway, we got our teleport location down. As you can see, it's in a fairly central area on the exit point from the swamp to the next area on. We've spawned back at base, or teleported back to base here, demonstrated our complete lack of getting arrows to connect with wildlife, And yeah, we're just going to do a big old unload here, and we're going to see what new things that we can make with all of our fancy new gear. Alright, the first of our new workstations we're going to pop down here is the brewing cauldron. Essentially, this is where you're going to be making your potions and your brews and that sort of thing. Putting it here though doesn't work because like it's got like it looks to have a fire under it. So I thought, oh yeah, maybe it needs to go outside. But yeah, I'd forgotten it. That's not where that goes. It's got to go in here undercover. So we're just going to relocate it into here where we can actually have it as a useful workstation. The next thing we're going to set up once this one's down and ready to go, we are going to be setting up the pottery kiln, and that's where we're essentially going to be making, well actually that's where you fire the recipe. Like you make clay into, you know, pots and bowls and things, and then you got to fire it in the kiln to make it useful. So because the kiln needs to go outside and it's big, we don't really have room for it with our current structure. And look, I could, you know, just throw it on the ground, but I don't really want to. I want to put an outside area, so I've got places to put more of these outside benches when I get them. Now, the problem we have is, at the moment, you know, there is the age-old question, got wood? Unfortunately, the answer to that question at the moment is a firm no. So we are back in a position where we need to chop a bunch of trees down and get a bunch of wood, so we're able to proceed with our base expansion. And look, we're going to need a bit of wood for, you know, stoking fires and things like that. So we're going to utilize a spell we've used before, which is the one that we're going to, it's called, what was it, Astral Projection, which is the one for chopping down multiple trees. And then as you saw there, we also have the one that we use for smashing the logs into, you know, wood that we can just pick up and take with us. Now, unlike the stone one, the wood version, which is this one here, it's just called Splinter, it's a comparably small area at the moment. Now, I think it does get better as we level up and we get better gear, but for the moment, as you can see, it highlights the bits that are going to be affected in green, and unless your logs happen to land close together like these two did, chances are you're only really going to be able to smash one log at a time, and the spell has a bit of a cooldown on it. So yeah, that whole exercise, I think I chopped about 30 minutes out of that. So at the moment with the axe I have, those spells aren't saving me a huge amount of time, but look, as it gets better, I'll give you guys an update and I'll show you how it all works further on. But for the moment, there's definitely room for improvement. Alright, here we are. We've made a kind of a expanded area outside where we can put the items like the kiln out. You know, I want them out of the way because you'll often load up a bunch of stuff in them and then you won't want the stuff that comes out until you're ready for it. So I didn't want it anywhere that I was going to be running past and then having it auto pick up into my inventory every 5 seconds. So that's why we're just putting it outside. Except I've realised I'm short on stone. And yeah, we kind of need to go out and get some stone. So we're going to do that now. Actually, I may have even chopped it. No, I have a feeling I've chopped it. I actually did the edit on this close to a week ago, and I'm only just now getting around to putting the voiceover on it. So, yeah, anyway, that's kind of what happens when the energy levels aren't great, but this is our kiln, and we're going to do... actually, we've got to put down the pottery wheel, which we'll do in a moment. The kiln also, and this is what we're going to do first, the kiln also makes charcoal, and charcoal is fuel for other processes down the track. So given I don't have a lot of clay at the moment, I'm just going to get the kiln going making charcoal, so I've got some available later when I need it. We're picking that up just to see if there was any extra stuff that we unlocked, but there isn't really. I can't remember exactly what the charcoal is used for. Like, I didn't really do the technology side of stuff with the playthrough I did with Itchy. So a lot of this stuff, like, I've sort of experienced it third hand or second hand, and I haven't actually done it myself, which is another reason why I wanted to do this playthrough, so I could sort of understand the whole thing from start to finish. So yeah, if I seem like I'm not sure about things, yeah, it's quite likely because I haven't had much to do with it before this playthrough. So anyway, minor disclosure there. We're just going to pop down our pottery wheel. It's going to be the same deal. It's something that we're... yep, never mind. I, again, forgot. The pottery wheel actually goes inside. So we're going to get this one set up over here. And we're going to make a few items, like just a few test items with the clay that we have. Just so that we can show the process from start to finish in terms of how to make, you know, the bowls and other items. Alright, so you just, you know, queue up however many you need to make, and minor spoiler, unless you're planning on making decorative stuff, you really don't need to make these clay decorations at this stage, but the bowls are very useful, and so we've made a few of those, and we're going to pop those in our kiln here in a moment, but we're going to sleep the night out first. We're going to pop these in the kiln and we're going to get them fired up, and then they'll be ready for when we need them. In terms of things that are ready for when we need them, I guess I could say that's the end of the episode. If you've enjoyed this one, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and to consider subscribing if you're not already subscribed. Until next time, my name is Rudimentary Rob. Thank you very much for watching, and make sure you have yourself an absolutely fantastic day.